Okay, good morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jerry Jacobitz, and I'm the Veteran Program Coordinator for the City of El Paso. Today is the Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee meeting virtually at 10 a.m. Committee members are reminded to please keep your cameras on and mics muted. And I don't think we don't have anybody that's hybrid today, so everybody that's here is here. Additionally, I want to remind everyone to maintain professionalism as this is being live streamed. It's also being uploaded to YouTube and on City TV. Guests are reminded, and we didn't have anybody that called in for citizens' comments, so we're not going to have any today.
Okay.
If everyone would please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's get with the roll call, please.
District 1.
Present.
District 2.
Present.
District 3.
Present.
District 4.
Present.
District 5 is not here. District 6 is not filled presently. District 7, Mr. Roddy said that he was not going to be able to make it today. And then District 8.
Here. I had to think about who you said for a second.
And Mayor appointee.
Okay, item number 4, discussion action to approve the minutes of June 15th, 2023. Does anybody have any issues, comments, concerns with last month's minutes? Everyone got a chance to read it? Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, can we get a roll call for the vote, please?
Yes. District 2? Yes. District 3? Yes. District 4? Yes.
District 8.
Oh, that's me, Jerry.
Yes. And Mayor appointee.
You vote to approve the minutes?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I said Mayor appointee.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Okay, awesome. And item number 5, citizen comment. We don't have anyone signed up. Is there anyone on the line? All right, we don't have anyone on the line. Item number 6, El Paso VA Healthcare Clinic update. Anyone on the line?
Good morning, everybody. Happy to be connecting with everyone virtually. My apologies, I'm not able to join in person today, but nonetheless, I did want to connect with everyone and give a quick update from the El Paso VA. First and foremost, I still want to emphasize the importance of helping and encouraging all of our VSOs and our partners around the region to continue communicating the importance and educating our veteran patients, our caregivers and families about the PACT Act and how important it is that our veterans take advantage of submitting their claims or their intent to file today as soon as possible. There is no deadline to apply for PACT Act benefits, but if veterans file their PACT Act claim or quickly submit their intent to file by August 9th of 2023, they may receive benefits backdated to August 10th of 2022 when the law was passed. So in the event that our veterans do submit their claim or their intent to file after August 9th, there will not be that backdated potential to August 10th of 2022. It'll just be from the date that claim was received. That's important information to be able to communicate to our veterans. A lot more information can be found at the following website at www.va.gov/PACT, P-A-C-T, or by simply calling 1-800-MY-VA-411. Talking along the same lines of PACT Act, what VHA, Veterans Health Administration, is doing during the month of July is hosting what we're referring to as Vet Fests across the country. For the El Paso VA region, we're going to be hosting our summer Vet Fest and PACT Act Claims Clinic on Saturday, July 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here at the main El Paso VA facility on Piedra Street. This is an indoor-outdoor event, so we're asking all of our veterans, their family members, and the community to join us and our community partners for our Summer Vet Fest in our main parking lot area. We're also going to be passing out some back-to-school supplies for families, some baby items, and of course, good food. We're also going to have some family fun with face painting, food trucks, and live performances by Blackberry Jam. So indoors, we are going to be setting up our PACT Act Claims Clinic. So in primary care teams A, B, and C waiting areas, we're going to set up a whole bunch of desks and opportunities for our claims counselors to meet one-on-one with our veterans and their family members in those large waiting areas. And that's where we're going to really set up for our PACT Act Claims Clinic for Saturday, July 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So please help us continue to push that information out. We're looking to having a really nice event. Now it's going to be pretty warm. We're going to have plenty of water cooling stations, and we're going to have some of our healthcare providers on site just in case. We're looking forward to a successful event. Also wanted to give a quick update on the progress with our replacement facility project that will be built adjacent to the new William Beaumont Army Hospital. We are inching closer and closer to the phase in which we are expecting to award the design part of this project. We anticipate that award happening in early FY24. It's looking around the December timeframe. And so once that design award is made, then we'll be able to start working on the design aspect of this new replacement facility, which typically takes around approximately 12 months. This is an opportunity for the vendor who wins this design project to sit down with our clinical leaders, administrative leaders, and start going section by section, floor by floor on what type of parameters, technology, sizing of equipment, waiting areas, the whole 9 yards. And so we're looking forward to starting that process. It is going to take about 12 months or so, and then we'll move quickly to construction. We are already talking about groundbreaking ceremony dates and planning. So we're going to be keeping everybody updated as soon as some of those dates and times and potential dates and times are confirmed for a groundbreaking ceremony here in the next couple of months. So we're really excited about the progress we're making there. Our expansion plans continue for our Las Cruces area, where we'll be bringing in a new 15,000 square foot facility for Las Cruces. We're going to be expanding primary care and specialty care and imaging for that region, so we're excited about that. Expansion plans also continue for our East Side VA clinic. We're still working through those processes, but again, it is looking like it is going to happen in early FY24 in terms of award of this new space, and then we'll be able to pop in there, do some minor renovations, and activate shortly thereafter. The East Side first floor expansion is where we are aiming to provide an urgent care center. It's going to be our first one that we're providing to our veterans in-house, and we're really excited about that possibility. Our partnership with William Beaumont continues to evolve and improve, and we're also looking to embed some of our teams over at William Beaumont to care for our veterans who pass through that location. So a lot of good partnership there, and we're looking forward to working with the new colonel over at William Beaumont Army Hospital. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, that covers it for now. I know we are also planning for a hiring fair, our summer hiring fair on August 5th, which is a Saturday. It'll run from about 9 to 2 p.m., and that's going to be also located here at our main campus. And we're moving forward with our aggressive hiring strategy. We're bringing on a lot of new employees every 2 weeks or so, and we're making really good progress to exceeding our growth rate in terms of hiring for this fiscal year. We're actually leading our regional network, so we're excited about that. And it's because of these types of events where I'm able to communicate some of our upcoming hiring events and hiring fairs that we're able to really bring in a lot of good employees willing to help us on our transformational journey to better serve veterans here at the El Paso VA. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions, and I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. We have any committee members with questions? Okay, we have one.
Yeah, Mr. Garza, could you repeat the time on your July 29th event, please? I didn't write that down.
Absolutely. Saturday, July 29th is when we'll be hosting our Summer Vet Fest and PACT Act Claims Clinic. It'll be at our main campus here on Piedra Street, and it'll run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to have a huge tent out in our main parking area. We're still going to have a lot of space for parking And we're going to have the PACT Act Claims Clinic indoors. And so we're looking forward to hosting a successful event with everyone. And we're going to have our usual suspects helping us out with this one, including our sister administration over at the VBA, the Disabled American Veterans, Texas Veterans Commission, El Paso County Veterans Service Office, and the Veterans One Stop as well. So appreciate all of our partners helping us with this one.
Any other committee members? No? Okay, I have two things, Mr. Garza. One for the hiring fair flyer on the bottom right where it says for more info. It seems like that's the template information. Is there going to be a new flyer coming out with the actual information?
There is, and the team caught that recently and have updated it since. So we'll make sure to distribute that latest, updated, corrected flyer for the Saturday hiring fair as soon as possible and get that out.
Okay, thank you. And then my other thing was last night at listening into the Women Veterans Town Hall, I was very, very excited to hear about in-house childcare coming up, and I'd like to know if you could expand on
Sure.
that.
Excellent. And we are working on our short-term child care initiative here at the El Paso main campus. There is, through legislation that was passed recently, there's an opportunity for us to work with VA Central Office to secure funds for the renovation and first identification of space and then the renovation of the space to convert that to short-term child care service. And so the way this is going to work is we've already identified the space. We're continuing to work with our central office partners, and we're going to be moving aggressively, to bring in this in-house service. And what we're going to do is renovate the space. It's not going to be extremely large. It's going to be a couple of hundred square feet where we're going to be able to house a handful of our veterans with scheduled appointments, children of all ages. And then we'll be able to, not only will the veteran be able to come in for their scheduled appointment and drop off their child or children, get their appointment completed, and then come back and pick them up at no cost to them. We're going to be working to renovate the space, and then we're going to also be working to identify a vendor who can provide that service for us. And so this is a nice new initiative that has been pushed out recently, and we're really excited to build upon that and provide that new service to our veterans. And I know this is not just a women veteran thing, but it's also in some cases all veteran, families kind of thing. And it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be welcomed, and we're excited about that. So we're going to continue to keep all of our partners abreast of the progress we're making there. And as soon as we are ready to activate, I know we'll have a nice little event and ceremony. So we'll make sure to invite everybody to that too.
And do you have any estimated time frame when that might be open?
Not just yet, but we are aiming to do this in likely the third quarter of FY24.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Garza. We have a question from Mr. Canoff.
Yes, Mr. Garza. Once the new facility is constructed on the far east side of town, will the current facility be downsized to be like a regional clinic similar to the West Side Clinic?
Thank you for the question. So it is my goal at every VA I've ever worked at to do what we can to have space to be able to try new, different initiatives, create new services, programs to better serve our veterans. And in the case of in the future, when our replacement facility is completed, activated, and we transition to that new location, it will be my focus to retain our current facility here and provide ongoing clinical services and maybe some newer types of services as well. It is not every day, and I can tell you this, at every single VA I've worked at, and I've worked at quite a bit over the last 15 years or so, is that space is always a hot commodity. And if we're gonna be in a position in which we have additional space, it's gonna be incredible. We're gonna be able to do so many innovative things with that space. And so it'll be my goal to retain this current location and to be able to do some really neat things.
Well, from a geographic standpoint, it's a logical satellite outpost for the new one. I mean, you've got one I was transitioned into utilizing the one on the far west side, and I think that the county being so large, that I think it's just logical and natural that it be retained as a satellite. But if you've got grander plans for its use, all the better.
Absolutely. We're going to definitely put it to good use.
Thank you.
Our region has a need for inpatient residential rehab, substance abuse disorder treatment programs, and those can be provided in a outpatient type of facility known as domiciliaries that other facilities have across Texas, for example. And I've actually overseen a few in my time in VA, and those can be very, very beneficial to our veterans. And because we don't have such a residential rehab treatment facility in our region, primarily that is offered through inpatient psychiatric hospitals in the local community. Something like that would be tremendous for our veteran population here. In addition to the growth of our veterans reaching higher ages in this region, eventually I think we're going to be in a very good spot to be able to look towards a community living center for our veterans, in addition to what we currently have from the Texas Veteran Land Board in terms of the state veterans homes. I think we're going to be very close here very soon to be able to put into our planning process the need for an eventual VA operated nursing home, what we call community living centers. So there's a lot of really nice options on the horizon that we're considering. And I think the more that we can focus on these innovative ideas for space that we might finally have and be able to play with, I think we'll be able to provide more benefits, more care, and more services to our veterans. And I'm so excited to be able to do that.
Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you for your time, sir. Okay, we'll move on to El Paso County Veterans Assistant Program, Mr. Montelongo. Is he on the line?
Mr. Chair, I do not see him
No.
on the online.
Okay, so we'll move on to El Paso County Veterans Advisory Board Chair update, Alexis McCray. Hello, Ms. McCray.
Good morning, everyone. So the Veterans Advisory Board, we met for our regular meeting on the 11th of July, and that is available on YouTube if you would like to view our meeting. I am excited to announce that the nominations for Veteran of the Year for El Paso County are also open until September 22nd. Those nominations can be sent to E.F. Montelongo, MONTLONGO @epcounty.com. And if you have any questions, you can call 915-875-8570. And the only requirement is that they do their service here in El Paso County and they were honorably discharged from military service. So we are excited. The event for the Veteran of the Year celebration will be in November as well, so more details to come on that. But please join us for our next Veterans Advisory Board meeting that is going to be upcoming on August 8th at 1 p.m. We meet at the El Paso County Courthouse in the Alicia Chacon courtroom, that's Suite 301, if you would like to join us. And that's all I have, subject to your questions.
Any committee members have any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, we're good to go, Ms. McCray. Thank you so much for the update. All right, next, El Paso Coalition for the Homeless update with Ms. Camille Castillo. I don't think she's on the line. No?
Yeah, she's not on.
Okay. All right, and next is YISD Hero Program with Ms. Monica Bustillos. Good morning.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
I think they have our presentation up. My name is Luisa Aguirre Baez. I'm the I'm the Associate Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction for Isleta Independent School District, and this is my partner.
Good morning. I've talked to Ms. Melissa before. I'm Jeremy Monica Bustillos, Director of District Initiatives and Affairs.
We thank you all for the invitation. We wanted to share a few things about our district and our support for our military families, and specifically we're obviously in our enrollment time period right now. I know we have a brief amount of time, so I just kind of want to run through some of the slides for you. There's a packet for you that has all of our information, and this slide will also be shared with you all. If you want this complete slide, all you have to do is scan right there and you'll get the complete slide for us. So we wanted to remind you that we are an A-rated district here in El Paso, in our county of the Big Three. We're the ones that made our A rating. We're working really hard to maintain that A rating as well. Our board members, this is really sensitive. Our board members and our superintendent were just recently honored as Superintendent of the Year and Board of Trustees of the Year as well. So it's an honor that we're very excited about. But we wanted to share, I think he's gonna have to click the video. We wanted to share this video of you. This is an effort that Monica and I have personally been working on to really support our family, our military families, and it was in response to our community coming to us and saying, hey, you guys got to up your game in Isleta and let us know how you can kind of support our military families a little bit better. Traditionally, we have not had a high number of military families come to Isleta. Nonetheless, that's not an excuse to do our very best to serve everybody. So this is a short video that we wanted to play for you all to kind of highlight some of the stuff that we started doing this past year. Just kidding. So in the meantime, while he gets...
Welcome. My name is Dr. Xavier Delatorre, and I'm the Superintendent of Schools at the Isleta Independent School District. As a military family, you have chosen an honorable path of service that presents a specific set of challenges and opportunities for your children, particularly when it comes to their education. Having to relocate and transition to new cities, homes, and schools can be tough, and it can be even tougher if you're not sure whether you're selecting the best school for your children. But at the Isleta Independent School District, we have a system in place that's designed specifically for you, and it's called the Hero Military Program. Our Hero Program makes sure military families are supported and welcomed with open arms, and their children benefit from the highest quality education in the El Paso region.
Hi guys, welcome. Thank you so much for your service.
It begins with a military liaison guide you through enrollment, everything from transferring school records to providing a welcome packet with the school, calendar, and important phone numbers. The support continues throughout the year with programs to help students acclimate and become engaged in their new school and special initiatives to celebrate our military community. But what makes Isleta ISD the best choice for your children? We are the only A-rated school district in the city of El Paso, making our schools among the best in Texas. We are the District of Champions, with 11 state championships under our belt in multiple sports over the past decade. We lead the pack in accredited JROTC programs that are ranked among the best in the country. We revel in the talent of our student musicians and performers who earn top statewide rankings in multiple genres every year. And we pride ourselves on service excellence. From the first moment you step into our schools, our friendly employees are eager to answer your questions and treat you with the courtesy and respect you deserve. Our military families are a source of great pride in our district, and it is our honor to serve your children in the same way you have devoted yourself to serving our country. We encourage you to set up an appointment to visit our campuses and get a glimpse of the exciting things happening in our district. And we are hopeful that for however long you are stationed in El Paso, your family has found its forever home at the Isleta Independent School District.
Thank you so much for that. So again, honoring, educating, reaching our military families, it's a huge initiative that we've been undergoing, something that we feel we needed to do a better job of, and so we're excited about all of our programs and our supports that we've been able to provide for our military families. We are a district that has had a 3-year-old program now for a couple of years, so this is another point of pride that we're very excited about, as well as it's 100% free of charge. And we also have international schools. So some of our military families that might have come from other countries or having other language programs, we have French, German, Japanese, Chinese, several programs within our district that we'd welcome your families to check out. Even if you're not, haven't been schooled previously in that second or third language, we're happy to welcome you and get it started at our elementary level as well. So we have several national blue ribbon campuses as well. This is something that we're very, very proud of. We have over 14 campuses, and we keep adding as we move along. This is something that a principal takes on their own, really wants to work towards that designation. It's a lot of paperwork, a lot of interviews, a lot of information, but we're very proud to list several of our campuses that have gone through that process and have been recognized for that. We also have a campus called the Micro Society. This is a very unique campus. It's the only one in the region. It is an elementary campus where we're actually teaching our children college and career readiness pieces at the elementary level. So they actually run their own business. They learn how to be an entrepreneur. They learn how to do supply and demand. And this is part of their daily curriculum as well. So it's a really exciting program that we have in our district. I'm going to get this right before I leave. We are one of 2 districts that has a Young Women's Leadership Academy. This is an all-girls school. It runs almost identical to a private school, but it is 100% public, and it has all of the entities of public education as well. So our girls wear a uniform, are treated with dignity and respect, learn their leadership skills, all while doing the regular college and career readiness, dual credit, advanced curriculum, all of these other pieces on there. So really unique opportunity for our young ladies in the community. It is an open enrollment. Our entire district is open enrollment. So anyone across the region, anywhere would like to come to our campus, we'd love to have them there. We actually start at the middle school level, so they go from 6th grade and they can graduate from that. We've already had 2 graduating classes from the Young Women's Leadership Academy, and we're looking forward to serving our 3rd one this year. We have an extensive fine arts program. That's something that we're very proud of. If you go anywhere outside of El Paso, one of the things that they'll always compliment us on is you guys are the ones that have that amazing fine arts program, and it's something that we're very proud of. We have mariachis, we have orchestra, we have visual arts, we have jazz band, which many of our other districts and counterparts have as well. But we go and we compete and we win. So it's something that we're extremely, extremely proud of. We truly do a great job. We also start our fine arts program in elementary. We start in the 5th grade, where everybody else is mandated to start in the 6th grade. We actually start in the 5th grade, and in many of our campuses, we even go down to the 4th grade as well. So it's important for us to have a live and well fine arts program for all of our students. We have an extensive JROTC program as well. I'm sure you've met our Colonel Dorsey under numerous occasions. He's been to every event. He's a wonderful attribute to our district, and he's done a great job of making sure that YSD leads the way when it comes to our JROTC program. We are the District of Champions. You saw our little bus there. 21 brand new turf fields that we've done. We had a huge bond, 2 bonds, one in 2015 and one in 2018 that we've recently passed. A lot of extensive work on our fields, field houses, football fields, softball fields for our young ladies. Basketball, we have a beautiful Bel Air facility as well. If you're ever driving down Yarborough, just take a look to your left or your right, depending if you're going north or south, and it is an amazing arena that we have out there. So one of many that we're very, very proud of. We're not all about the fun stuff. We are about the academic pieces as well. So this little piece of information just kind of shows you where we are truly the leader across the region in terms of college and career readiness. So you can see that 81%, we keep increasing and we keep getting better, and we anticipate that that will even be higher and will still remain #1 for this coming school year as well. Yes, sir.
Sorry, this is Paul Albright, Chief Military Officer. I have a question about career readiness. How do you define career readiness?
So we give all of our students the option to choose a college or career path. So our career paths, we have a career and technical education program as well. Every student is entitled to a pathway. It can be in engineering, in architecture, in mathematics, anything of that case. So the students have an opportunity to decide, hey, I want to go to college and I want to continue on to a 4-year university. We have dual language credits, but we also have culinary arts, we have cosmetology, we have other pieces. So if they decide that that is not the route that they want to go, that they want to do a trade school or they want to do something else, that is the career readiness that we have. I mentioned our micro society and our international schools as well. We embed those opportunities as well, just so that they can see that real world experience and understand the pathways that are available to them.
Do you know if there's any conversations about joining the armed forces as being a career field?
Yeah, absolutely. And we do it through our JROTC programs as well, and through our career and technical education pathways as well. So that is still another consideration as well. It's actually something that as a state, every district gets accredited for that as to how many students they encourage to go to the military
Good.
as well.
All right, thank you.
And if I can add to that, just this summer, our Isleta ISD ROTC program hosted a leadership challenge at Fort Bliss. And so 160 cadets were out there with New Mexico cadets all across the region, and they were doing things like compass, getting through the mountain with a compass, no Google or anything like that. They were able to practice their aquatic skills, saving somebody, and they slept in the barracks that entire week. So that really helped them just live the life of a soldier, and so hopefully we'll have a story coming out on that soon.
Yeah, that was an absolutely great program. We got to see it, so it was wonderful. Yeah.
So real quickly, in your packet, we did put a flyer in there with more specifics on the HERO program. And if you scan that QR code, it will take you to the HERO webpage that outlines all of the program, what we do. It has an area that lists who the military liaisons are at the campuses. And so if you just want, to dive a little further into that, you can scan that QR code and it'll take you to the webpage so you can take a look. Okay, so we'll continue with the presentation. Just a couple of other things. Of course, our focus is safety. That is our number one priority. And with that almost $1 billion bonds that we passed, we ensured that all of our campuses have safety vestibules, that we have visitor management systems, keyless entry in high traffic areas. We've upgraded all our surveillance cameras, and we have active threat drills throughout the year. We also have something called Catapult, where our teachers or anybody in the building can press a button on their phone and let the office know, hey, there's a fight down the hall, or we have a medical emergency, or there's a shooter in the building. So we've really done what we can to step up and meet the needs that we're facing now, the challenges that come, but this is part of what we've done. Here's a brief overview of, I get it, Luisa. We welcome the visitor. When people come to the campuses, they have to present a valid ID. We scan to make sure that they're not in the sex offender database in order to be allowed, and then we issue a dated visitor's pass. So, safety, of course, is the number one priority for our staff and our students. In your packet also, you have a flyer. Sorry about that. You have a flyer that talks to you about our volunteer program. That code right there, QR code, will take you to the application. We're doing everything we can to work closely with our soldiers. We want them to come into our campuses, and we started reaching out a little more this past year to our Northeast campuses. So here's a picture. I think this was a Fly a Kite Day. So our soldiers got to come in and fly kites with the kids at one of our Northeast schools. Here's just a brief picture of all our beautiful campuses, the safety vestibules. We are a campus that gives away free school supplies to every single student at the beginning of the school year. And we pride ourselves in what we call service excellence. We have a customer service initiative, and these are standards, safety, courtesy, innovation, and accountability. And we train every single staff member in customer service so that we're ensuring the best experience possible for all our stakeholders. And the registration? Okay. So on the registration process, it's also very simple. These are the documents you may need. We have a website available where people can enroll. And if you have an issue, see that little tab on the right-hand side that says Ask the District? So you click on that tab, and you are able to submit an email saying, I need assistance with this, and then within 24 hours, we reply to your request. A lot of times, if it's a registration issue, somebody will call you and walk you through the process. Okay. We have applied for our Purple Star designation in all our Northeast schools. We hope to hear back in August. We ensured that everything is in place so that we earn it, and this year we will extend the Purple Star designation application to all our international schools. Is that it? Is this the last video? Let me see. Okay, if we can play that last video. Yeah, you think? He's coming. This is just to give you a feel of Isleta ISD. As I would tell my classroom, talk to your neighbor in the meantime.
But while we're waiting, I do have a quick question.
Yes.
For the people that are transitioning to Fort Bliss and surrounding areas, will you be having a job fair coming up anytime soon for those interested in maybe being a teacher or anything like that within the district? Or how would people be able to apply for jobs? Is there anything you could speak on concerning that real quick?
So at the very top of our website on ysd.net, there is a button for careers. And that will list all the openings we have. We do have a really strong past tutor program, and that's where people can earn for $15 an hour tutoring our students at different campuses. So that's if just, somebody wants to get out of the house a little bit and just come to the schools and tutor. We do have that, but we have teaching.
We have some teaching positions available as well. You'll find them on the website right now. I wouldn't want to steer you wrong and tell you exactly what's available because it changes daily. But absolutely, we're always looking for top-notch quality teachers, especially in the areas of math and science. That seems to be where we have the lowest interest. In addition to that is our bilingual teachers and special education teachers across the region. We're always lacking in those areas as well. So absolutely. If you have any problems, at the very first slide is my number. Feel free to reach out to me. I just had a parent call me that was a transfer parent as well from military, and she's like, I just didn't know where to start. I said, hey, you started in the right place. So I'm happy to do whatever we can for that.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's a really cool video if you get to see it, and it only is about 30 seconds. Any other questions or anything we can contain? Our first day of school will be July 31st. We are a year-round district, so we go for about 9 weeks, and then we take 2 weeks off. The first week we use for intervention, and that's usually in the first week of October. So we invite some of our students back, give them a personal invitation if we know that they've been struggling or they need some additional support. It's a much smaller group, some one-on-one attention in many cases, and we usually do that for the morning portion of that first week of school, and then they'll take the second one off of that intercession time.
Do we have anyone with comments or questions? Okay, I have a couple things. First, I'm very happy to see Young Women's Academy. I think that's awesome. And I really love that you had a woman service member in your video as well. And then my other question was for enrollment. I know that you have to show proof of where you live, but can anybody anywhere in the city or county enroll? You don't have to be within YISD?
Absolutely, ma'am. We are an open enrollment district, so anywhere, if you're willing to make the drive, you're welcome to come to our district.
Awesome. And then so the HERO program is an outreach, a central source for, a central resource for information for military families, right? That's the point of it?
Yes, ma'am. It's an additional piece. It's part of our curriculum, part of our DNA, if you will. We had never applied for the Purple Star recognition, which is just lets the Texas Education Agency know that we are aware of our military families and that we have resources available to them. So we made an effort to do that application process last school year. So now we're just waiting to hear the final pieces. It comes directly from the state, but that's exactly as our initiative is. We were really, for lack of a better term, trying to up our game in what we were going to do for our support for our military families.
Okay, awesome. Does anyone else have any questions or comments or anything? Okay.
Yeah,
go
just,
ahead.
just one thing that I was thinking about. I saw in the application process to enroll the children, it was, you know, a proof of residency and things like that. Do you accept military orders for those that are on the way?
Yes, sir, and I don't know the actual terminology, but I know it's the yellow form and the pink form and some of those things. We start initially with those documents, and we'll work with whatever it is that we can work with.
Great.
The one thing that we can't, some of the stuff that we're state mandated by will be your vaccinations, things of that nature, your birth certificate, those things, but anything else that we can work within our means, we definitely work with our families for that.
Is the video good to go? Awesome, okay.
Into the area. Verify cameras are on. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, that was awesome.
So that's our closing. We are home to 7 Texas State Teachers of the Year, so we love that boasting. We love boasting that too. But if you need any help from us, both Luisa and my card is in your packet. Miss Melissa has my email, but whatever you all need, we'll be happy to help and support in any way we can. We thank you so much for
Awesome.
your time this morning.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
I really
all. We appreciate
appreciate
it.
it. Thank you. All right, next we have Ms. Montañez. Is that how you go by, or do you go by both last names? Montañez. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. Present and virtually, I am Delirious Montañez. I go by DMB, as you all know. I know the majority of you guys. I wanted to give you a presentation about a facility that I have on Solon Park, New Mexico, but it's registered in the state of Texas, okay? And I'm going to tell you the reason because I decided to do the LLC versus doing it just as a 501c3, but the LLC is actually a leverage for the 501, okay? So let's go through the slides. My website is on the screen is pme-2scores.org, and my phone number and our email address is listed. This is very sensitive. Okay, so these are the objectives that we're going to go through. We're going to go to the introduction, my purpose, meaning my why, the background and some credentials, state and federal legislation, the internal battlefield, so you guys can understand where equine therapy comes in. We're going to talk about our four-legged therapist, my commitment to the city, the proposition, and a session of Q&A. Is that the next slide? There. It's very, very sensitive. Okay, so the introduction. So a little bit about me. I am originally from Puerto Rico. I have been in El Paso, Texas for the last 23 to 24 years. So I am vested in my community. I have a residence in El Paso, and I have a residence on Solon Park. My professional career, I was a former law enforcement, city, county, federal, total 26 years. Army veteran, field grade officer, joint multinational. I was a casualty assistance officer, and I was an honor guard member, so I understand everything that has to do with death, and I understand everything that has to do with the family and the survivors of the death. Where are we falling? We are falling because we're not listening to the needs of the veterans and the service members, okay? My why. The first individual that you guys see there is Brandon Casorda. Casorda actually committed suicide. He was a Navy sailor, and he committed suicide in June 2018 because he did not get assistance from his leadership. His family created a foundation called the Brandon Casorda, and they're actually located in Arizona. The second one that you have there is private first class Vanessa Guillen. As you all know, she was murdered back in July 2020, and we all know the tragedy behind her. I was a Vanessa Guillen. I am 100%, I am MST survivor, and I am 100% for PTSD. So whenever I come to you, I am very, very, very transparent, because there's nobody that can understand a veteran or a service member better than somebody that actually have gone through it and have walked on their steps. The third one is Private First Class Richard Holiday, who went missing in July 2020. That case is under investigation, so I'm not going to say anything else about it. The only thing that I can tell you is that Private Richard Holiday was a whistleblower. He went through his chain of command. He went through his junior enlisted personnel. He went through his command sergeant major. He went through every single leadership. He went to CPS and did a complaint, and nobody listened to him, okay? So these are my credentials. I am actually equine specialist with IGALA. IGALA is the Equine Assisted Growth and Learning Association. It's the only one that is recognized by the VA in addition to PATH International. PATH is more mounted. IGALA is more on the ground. And basically, you need 4 individuals. You need I call individuals my horses because they act like humans sometimes. But you need the horse, you need the client, you need the equine specialist, and you need the mental health counselor. I am the only one certified as horsepower reading in the state of New Mexico, and I am the only one on the west side of Texas. So whenever I talk about the family members for the veterans, now we're talking about the children, and I'll tell you how can I actually support the children through that organization. I am an instructor for NAMI, and I'm a peer support for NAMI. First Responders Conference was actually my savior. Whenever I was going through some issues, I call, and that's on the other slide, but I call Army One Source, and they basically told me that I needed to use my Blue Cross Blue Shield because I wasn't a reserve member. I wasn't active duty, okay? And if I got that information, and I know that that's the information that they pass to our service members as well. I went to Cupline training, and I try to be peer support with Cupline. The only problem that I have with Cupline is that if an individual is on the line and they tell you that you're suicidal, you're not allowed to call 911. So if you're not a mental health counselor behind that phone, that individual might commit suicide and you'll never know, because you're not allowed to get their phone numbers and you're not allowed to call them back, okay? So that's the only reason, because I did not become peer support with them. I did a lot of training with the New York Police Department. We actually have an organization coming to El Paso in April 2024, and we can talk a little bit more about that, but it's basically a symposium on individuals that are first responders that were actually victims of PTSD, and they never committed suicide, but they attempted suicide many times. So this is the Texas House Bill 1457. It was actually introduced and it was signed into law. The individual that introduced it was actually Cesar Blanco, which is actually one of the delegates in El Paso. And this bill is going to require all military uniform care, or military cultural competency training for certain personnel of entitles that provide mental health services to veterans and veteran families before any award of the state agency grant, okay? So, like I stated before, I am joint multinational. I have worked with every single armed forces that we have in our government. I have gone to Italy, Korea, Germany, Japan, Belgium, and United Kingdom is missing from that list. So now, if you are an individual that is going to provide mental health services for a veteran or a service members, you need to have multicultural experience. It's not just mental health. This is related to the child mental health, and the way that I can assist the veterans' families, especially the children, is through the 501 that I have in registered in the state of Texas. It's called Dance for Dreams. And basically, we provide sponsorships for children between 10 and 17 that are involved in sport event competitions, okay? But equestrian, equine, horses is actually a sport, okay? And that's how I can assist through that. This bill was actually on the U.S. House. That was 3495. And the second link that you have there, you can actually open it, and you can see the bill. But it basically was introduced in 2019, and then it went nowhere. And basically, it was to increase the access of service aimed at preventing veteran suicide. And obviously, we didn't do a great job with it because we lost individuals, armed service members in 2020, and we continue to have 25 a day, and 2 to 3 veterans a day as well. So this is what he said, and I'll give you a minute to read it. So with that said, last week at the U.S. House of Representatives, Dan Crenshaw, which is a veteran, and AOC, they introduced a bill that is going to be a pilot program for the VA for veterans that are affected by PTSD, so we can try to get them away from medication. I went through that program, and I'm standing in front of you because that program does work, okay? I was first responder. I retired back in November 2020 with Border Patrol, and obviously as an agent, I have to carry a gun. And I couldn't take my medication because it will make me dizzy, it will make me sleepy. At the end of my career, I was actually have to be on reasonable accommodation because it was really hard to be on the line, and it was my safety and the safety of my agents, okay? So whenever I tell you that we need to stay away from medication, I mean, there's a lot of people that are being affected, and I think that this bill that these two great representatives are introducing is going to be, you know, the ticket for us to be able to assist our veterans and our service members. And I know that you guys deal only with veterans, but I cannot leave my service members behind because I live with them every single day. Every time that we get a soldier or a veteran that passed away, it just hits home. So this bill, it was passed at the U.S. House. It was part of the NDAA for 2023. And as we know, the Department of Defense, they get directives from U.S. Congress, and then it takes forever for them to implement the laws. So we actually got LULAC involved, the League of the United Latin American Citizens, and then they actually implemented it, I believe that it was March 2023, okay? So this Brandon Act passed in 2022. It took almost a year for the Department of Defense to actually implement the guidance of U.S. Congress. So the internal battlefield that I had, I never wanted to retire. I'm 52 years old. I really wanted to retire when it was mandated, which is 57, okay? I didn't have a choice, okay? It was either or I was going to end up in a mental institution, or I would have been a victim of suicide, or who knows what else could have been. I relocated my parents from Puerto Rico, Jacobitz. Hopefully I say your name right. You know, this is the thing about veterans. Veterans, we're type A personalities, right? They always tell us self-service, right? It's really hard for us to to take care of ourselves because the only thing that is ingrained in our heads is to actually take care of others. And that's one of the Army values. And that's something that we have to work on because whenever you go to help at the VA or any other institution, they tell you self-care and self-care and self-care and self-care. And that doesn't rationalize. There's no rationale in your brain because of the instilled value of self-service. Yes, ma'am. I really appreciate your help, but I think that this is part of, the briefing to our military individuals that are actually briefing our city council members. Because I don't know if you have any children. I don't have any children, okay? But then you should have waited till I finish. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so my aha moment. So I have an injury, as you see on the right side. I had an injury because I fell off a horse. And I'm going to show you the horse in a little while. His name is Domino Effect. So Domino Effect is a pain, and this on the left, they're the mom and the dad. But he's a mutt, kind of like, he doesn't have.
I just have one question. I actually will have more probably. How many slides do you have?
I don't have that many. Can I finish with my presentation, please?
We'll see. Please continue. I'm sorry, and I do apologize for interrupting, but I was concerned because it's been going on, and we haven't even gotten to the great service that you can provide to the veterans. And that's
You
what
haven't
we
been
really
listening
got to.
then.
No, I have.
Can I get the next slide, please? Okay, so I told you guys about Military One Source. Military One Source is the individuals that veterans and service members actually contact whenever they have PTSD issues or they are at the verge of committing suicide, okay? Peer support. I can tell you, I don't know how many hours I did about peer support behind a desk with a counselor. Peer support in an office does not work for every single individual, okay? We need to get away from that mindset and, step out of that box. This one over here on the right side is Aisha Graham. Aisha Graham was actually murdered in Fort Bliss because, again, the leadership didn't listen to her. Can I get the first video, please? And you guys can watch because they took away from my time, so I'll just let you guys look at the second one later on. But I would like the first one, please. Some of the services that we have at the ranch are customized to the client. Anybody in the community that wants to come and some of the services that we have at the ranch are customized to the client. Anybody in the community that wants to come and ride our horses and they want to learn about equine-assisted learning horsemanship, I want to be involved with the equestrian. So we want to customize and personalize every single session to our clients and give undivided attention. Right now, the City of El Paso and the County of El Paso have a grant. It's going to be given for the community to be able to assist them with mental health, and hopefully we'll be able to tap into those allocated funds from Congress. We just want our community to take advantage of our herd, let the horses assist them in solving their own problems. We are located at 2901 Girl Scout Lane, Sunland Park Park, New Mexico. Equestrian Holistic Retreat Getaway for Those Who Serve U.S., a sponsor for Dance for Dreams, which is actually a 501c3 that's registered in the state of Texas. Let me see. Okay, so we have 8 horses, but these are the horses that we actually use with our community. The first one is KB Storm. KB Storm was a racehorse that got an injury, was basically taken away from the racetrack. I was able to get 5 vets, and he was able to race again, and he did great. And then I decided to retire him, so he's actually one of our unmounted session therapists. Domino Effect was actually the first horse that I got. I bought him on eBay whenever I was coming back from Japan, because a lot was going on with me, but I really didn't know what was going on. I was misdiagnosed. Higgins is actually the horse that we take to our city and our county communities. We have done events with the police department. We have done events with the fire department, the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, you name it, we've been there. As a matter of fact, we're going to be at the PAC clinic on the 29th with the VA, and we're going to be at the community engagement that the VA has, I believe, in August. And then Monte Carlo is actually the last horse that we got. He was a traumatized horse. We couldn't even put the saddle and the equestrian equipment on him, but he's actually ready to be mounted, and we can actually do equine-assisted therapy with him as well. So this is my commitment to you. The County of El Paso and the City of El Paso, they have called El Paso as the Veteran Capital of the Year. I like to earn things, so I am 100% committed to the county and the city to actually get this done and wear that capital of the USA proudly. These are the 7 Army values. The majority of you guys here are actually veterans, so you guys can understand a veteran. Like I stated before, they lost 2 to 3 active duty service members and 25 veterans suicide a day. My goal is 0. 1 is too many. So this is the proposition that I have for you guys. We can offer daily, or we can offer weekly camps for veterans recovering from PTSD. We can get the VA involved. We can have hourly sessions, daily sessions. My goal is to have tiny homes on our facility to actually have service members to come to our facility and get away from the barracks. And I know that some of you guys are command sergeant majors and sergeant majors here, so you guys understand what the soldiers are going through. So the facility. We provide the education, the training, and the qualified experience that is needed to succeed and accomplish our ultimate goal, which is 0 suicides. The partners, which will be the city or the county designated individual, will be providing the mental health counselor, because they are the ones that get the grants. And then El Paso, local city and county, they fund obviously the logistics. So one of the things about equine therapy is that you have a lot of expenses, right, on the horses. The only expense that you have with a mental health counselor and somebody that is just listening to the service member, telling them their spiel, it's very minimum. But with a horse, it's a little bit more expensive because you have, all the food, all the maintenance of the horses, instead of just paying 2 individuals. So like God once says, I need someone strong enough to pull a cart, but gentle enough to love a child, smart enough to protect his master, and passionate enough to love his family. Someone with so much love, they can lift the spirits of a broken heart. So God created the horse. Okay? So these are the faces or the small childs that go to our facility. This is the horsepower reading session. This is one of the girls that actually went to competition. And on the left side is one of the children that came for the first time to do horseback riding. He was actually with us for like 6 months. They live all the way on the east side, and the grandmother cannot bring him anymore. So I am a stigma smasher. I really don't care what everybody else say. I want zero suicides on our service members and the veterans, and that's what you guys are here for. So pending your questions?
Do we have any questions from the committee members? Okay, I have a question. For your program, what is the potential cost for veterans and service members?
So if we use so it depends on the number of veterans that you bring, right? Because horses need, self-care, just like mental health counselors. So let's say that you have, so let's take in consideration, the food of the horses. Me as a veteran, I wouldn't charge the county or the city. That's my gift, as a veteran myself. But, I have an employee that I have to pay. He's on the payroll. And whatever horses you guys want to, to use for how many individuals you have. And then, the city and the county or will provide the mental health counselor. So the mental health counselor with IGALA, the mental health counselor can be without being an IGALA certified for a year. And then they have to get the certification for the year.
Mm-hmm. But what would, if I wanted to go, what would be the cost
if you were an individual?
Uh-huh.
So it's usually, what IGALA says is if you have the mental health counselor and you have the equine therapy and the facilities, like around 150 for El Paso. In California, New York is between 300 and 350. So what I do is I put it at 100. So meaning my services, which I'm the equine specialist, I do it for free. And then if you bring your mental health counselor and then the facility cost, so it will be like 100 per individual.
Okay, so if I understand right, for me, it would be no cost. But if I brought my counselor with me, that would be the cost, about 150?
So if you only do the facility and the equine specialist, which is myself, then it will be $50, meaning instead of 100, then you only pay 50, right? Because that's the cost, for the horse. And then the mental health counselor, it will be on the county or it will be on the city.
Oh, got it. Okay. And then with that, the therapy, is it just riding the horse or is it taking care of the horse, or what exactly is the therapy portion?
So I do both. I do the mounted session because my employee has 23 years experience with horses. We do have race horses, and I am a breeder for horses as well. It will be mounted and it will be unmounted, okay? It just depends on the client. Horses are big creatures, right? So a lot of people are very intimidated with horses, and sometimes I have clients or I have children that come and their parents want them to learn how to ride a horse. Well, they're very scared of being around the horse, so instead of starting with a mounted session, we start with an unmounted session, and then we build from there. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like whenever the client goes to a counselor, right? Like you have to start getting information to be able to assess the client, right?
Right.
And obviously, I'm not a mental health counselor, but it just depends on the client.
Okay, but that would include it, that you would let them take care of the horse, maybe?
Something that I learned, control triggers me. That's my medical condition through the VA, okay? I don't train for time, okay? I try to do my sessions 45 minutes, but if the individual needs an hour, they get an hour, okay? Everything in life is not about money, and most of the times whenever you give out of yourself to people, you actually get more in return.
So you're pretty flexible.
That's
very
what you're
flexible.
saying.
Okay, so it depends on what, like you said, the client wants to do or how long they want to be around the horse.
Correct. And we have had the Veterans Health Center, which is on Airway. They have actually have a meeting in our facility. And I basically tell them, I put the chairs, I put the canopy, I put the tables, you guys bring a potluck. So basically they come, spend half a day at the facility, and then we did the unmounted session, and I didn't charge them anything. And you can actually call the vet center and ask them.
Awesome.
So, you know, I'm very given to first responders, veterans, and service members because I am still. Because whenever you pledge that oath, it's for life. It's not until retirement. And as you can tell, I'm very passionate because people just don't understand.
Thank you so much for the information. Do we have any other comments, questions?
Thank you so much for this, ma'am. I had a quick question. Are you looking for any volunteers? Just to help?
Yes.
Okay.
So we keep a list of volunteers, and sometimes like the Girl Scouts come, you know, they want to do like camps and stuff like for the weekend, like a retreat. You know, they don't have that many volunteers for family members, so that we can actually use volunteers from the facility. I mean, from the community.
Okay, so if you need volunteers, it's just best to contact you at this number?
Yes, if you send me an email or just call me,
Yes, ma'am.
text me, I'm
Okay.
always available.
Thank you, ma'am.
I don't work 8 to 5. Anyone else?
I think we're good to go. Thank you so much for the presentation, the information.
Thank
Really
you. Thank you for
appreciate it.
having me. And whenever you guys get a chance, look at the second video. I know
Okay.
that I didn't have time to watch it here, but
Yes.
I think that it's very important for us to understand, you know, what we're dealing with. If we don't really take this serious, we're going to continue to have service members, and we're going to continue to have veterans committing suicide. And me personally, I served my country for 29 years. Whenever I see U.S. Veteran Capital of the Year, I don't feel it. I, myself, Delirious, cannot claim it if I lose one life.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 9, discussion. 9 Alpha, update on the progress of VAC committee members attending their respective council members' meetings and senior center visits to provide information on the VAC, upcoming veteran-related events, and veteran resources in the city. So we'll start with the mayoral appointee, Mr. Ramirez. Have you had any luck getting in touch with mayor's office?
I have not. And the reason I have not is because I haven't reached out to them. This is only my second meeting, and I'm just kind of trying to get my feet on the ground. So I'll reach out between now and the next meeting, for sure.
Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, Mr. Canoff?
Yes, in fact, I attended Mr. Kennedy's monthly meeting yesterday at the West Side Regional Police Headquarters. And it was my first meeting. I kind of got a feel for it. They had major presentations. They're going to put these cushion bump stops all over Emory Road, and the city engineer and the paving engineer and the contract. Let's just say that there was a particular agenda for that meeting, and I was not able to reach out to the attendees that might have been veterans, but in future meetings, it's not going to be that difficult, and since they are monthly. And I'll be getting with Mr. Kennedy within this next couple of weeks so that he can introduce me, and we can have a little bit of a give and take about, you know, letting his constituency know that this is available to them.
So last month when you were going to sit down with him after our VAC meeting, you didn't get the
I
opportunity to
sat
get
down with him,
scheduled?
and there was another agenda involved. The reason I sat down with him,
Okay.
there was a city business that I had to discuss with him.
Okay.
But but between then and now, I have
Mm-hmm.
yesterday.
Okay, because I was under the impression you were going to mention that to him last week.
I was under the impression that I would have that opportunity, but that did not present itself.
Okay, and so you didn't get to brief at all yet? You need to reach out to him and get on the agenda?
Yes, now he knows more about this entity than I do, because he was the representative for the city, for the mayor in this entity for several years. So he knows a lot more about this than I do. But as far as moving forward, I think we'll be able to get a little bit of traction in that regard.
Okay, Mr. Jackson?
Yeah, so I reached out to them. They don't have any space available right now. They said the calendar is full, and it's supposed to be think the earliest is, I think, August. But then I need to talk to them sometime either today or next week because my term goes to end now.
Okay. So you need to see if you can get on the August agenda? Okay. Okay. And you did already, right? You did? Okay, and I know you're about to leave soon, but how did, yes, please.
Yes, I have been in contact with Ms. Hernandez and her staff. I speak to them frequently and share all the details about VAC as well as any upcoming events. I'm always asking either Ms. Hernandez or her staff if there's anything I can do to, if they have anything coming up that I can put out there, and I do that as well. So I participated in the lunchbox meeting they had, I believe it was
I
3
think you
weeks
said it was
ago,
May?
just before
Okay.
the 4th of July weekend. So
Okay.
I participated in that, and again, was offering services, letting them know about VAC, letting them know that I'm here and stuff, so.
Okay,
that's
so
what I
you
do.
spoke at the lunchbox.
I participated in that
community
one,
meeting?
yeah, I think it was, like I said, about 3 weeks ago. I don't think they've had anything else set up since then. I could be
Okay.
wrong, I did not see anything about a upcoming lunchbox, another lunchbox meeting.
Okay, so at that meeting, you informed the
Yes,
constituents?
yes, and I ask the staff all the time, is there anything I can do?
Mhm.
Anything you need help with? I let them know what's going on, they thank me, all that kind of stuff, and
Okay.
that's how it is. So
I
I do communicate with them.
appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so again, I really want to reiterate that we really need to reach out to the veteran and service member and family community. I know it's hard, we are volunteers and we have jobs, but even if we don't fully know all about the VAC, that's part of being appointed onto this committee, is to know about the VAC. So we did come up with a slideshow as well to help you, to assist you when you do get that meeting for the briefing. So again, if you're having issues getting in touch with your appointee or your representative, let us know. I know I'm having issues. I still haven't heard back from Mr. Canales. I really would love to meet. I can go in place of any of you if you guys can't do it as well. So please, we need to let them know that we're here. We can't, we don't have legislative authority, but whatever issues or concerns or comments or something we're not seeing out there that we need to bring up, we need to get that talked about and taken care of and see how we can move forward with this. And we've even been in talks with the legislative liaison for the city as well, because they do talk with council and they try to push up their agenda to the state senate and so on. So please, 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 if you have issues, comments, concerns, let me know. And let Mr. Albright and Mr. Jacobitz know as well. Right, item 9, Bravo. Justin Roddy is not here. Do we have any rep to speak on homelessness?
We were unable to meet, but the one thing that's going on in the community right now is the homeless stand-down meetings that's ran by the VA. So we meet tomorrow, 3 p.m. At the Veterans One Stop, and I think we can have just encourage individuals who have some that want to get involved and participate. It's a really great initiative, and we serve a lot. The VA serves and the community serves a lot of veterans at that. Homeless veterans at that stand down, and of course, I'll be attending, and I'll try to make sure that we have some representation from the VAC, and and direct them to some resources that we have in the city. So that's what I have right now for the homeless stand down. Nothing. There were no new updates as far as attending the meetings for the Coalition for the Homeless or anything like that. I still need to reach out to her and just try to see if we can get into those. What's that meeting called again?
The master list?
Master list. That's it. Yeah.
You need to get into it?
I just started attending it again. Those are very effective when we were able to.
Oh, okay. You
kind
need
of
to start going back again.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Anyone else from homeless?
You want to talk about mental health now?
Mr. Jackson has 2 updates he would like to share.
Well, one of the updates for mental health, I don't know if you guys are tracking, but the VA is trying to propose a change to the mental health rating. So right now, they're trying to propose a change where the minimum rating will be 10% instead of 0. And the reason why they're trying to do that is because some vets have a high mental health rating, but they can still work. Right now, if this is over a certain percentage, you can't work, so they're trying to change that. That's a proposal that they're trying to propose right now. That was the only update that I had found so far.
Can you repeat that again?
So,
what are they proposing?
Yeah, so the proposal is it's a couple proposals, but the one that I picked out of that, they trying to change the tinnitus one. They're trying to change the sleep apnea one as well. They're trying to get the sleep apnea one down lower. If you use the machine and you're better after you use the machine, they're saying that they're going to be a 0% with no compensation. So it's a lot of VA benefits are changing here in the future. But if you're already at 100% total and permanent, and you already got your VA percentage now, they're not going to change your grandfather in. It's the people that's getting their percentages now. Is what change is going to be.
Anything else for mental health?
That was it so far. The VA is also having an open house. Everybody tracking that, and the reason why they're having an open house is because a lot of vets here in El Paso do not know where 350 Rivera at. 350 Rivera is where the mental health services for the VA is located. It's right behind Fire Station 5. So they're going to have a open house and let you tour the facility and meet some of the therapists and the doctors and things like that, so you know where your mental health care is going to be held at.
Okay. And has the mental health committee met?
I knew it was going to come. At this point, we have not. I really want to just get see what the objectives are, because I know we're to bring up community issues, and as far as like and meet and advise the council, and I just want to try to get more direction. Are we looking for programs to suggest, or possibly? One of the things that I was thinking about was, trying to bring that mental health element to the, like, rapid rehousing or, whatever program that's already in existence, to really provide that case management and things of that nature. I'm just trying to think if there's anything on, like, if anyone has any ideas, or where we need to start.
Hey, Jonathan, let's meet real soon, and we can talk a little bit about, because as an advisory committee, it's really got to come from you, looking up and out and seeing what direction that you would like to see us address mental health towards the veteran community. So we could talk about it together, develop objectives together. So I think that's the right direction.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and Mr. Washington, I know you said you didn't have a whole lot, but
No, I didn't have
go ahead and share.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's Bruce?" So, real quick, first I want to say, Paul and Jerry, thank you for all that y'all been doing within the community. You've been doing amazing work. So, thank you for all that you've been doing. All right, and of course the rest of the team. But as far as employment, my forecast is to have some top-rated employers that are going to be doing virtual employee showcases. It has been very beneficial to the veterans, the transitioning service members, the military spouses, the military community that are either transitioning to Fort Bliss or they're going to be leaving Fort Bliss. So I'm trying to make sure that I set up events that are going to be beneficial to people, whether they're staying in El Paso or not. Of course, I'm trying to get them to stay here, so I'm trying to work closely with employers, but if they're not, then at least I'm trying to give them a way out to be able to say, hey, I can try to find employment heading home, wherever that may be. So that's coming up. I'll be putting that out soon, so if you can help me get that word out once I get the flyers and everything together, that would be great. Of course, everybody knows about the VA hiring fair that's happening on August 5th, but outside of that, that's about it.
Okay, I
Yeah.
appreciate it
Yes,
very
ma'am.
much. So the subcommittees, they should be meeting at least once a month. That way you can get that momentum going, you can brainstorm those ideas, you can discuss how you can help our targeted population within your committee. So with homelessness, with mental health, with employment, which, thank you very much for that update. So again, please, at least once a month, meet. You can meet virtually. There's nothing saying that you can't, that you have to meet in person. Now, I know some of our committees potentially have a quorum, but we've talked about how to move on with that. So please let us know if you have any issues. If you have someone that is not participating, or you have someone who's not attending your subcommittee meetings, let us know. But please, we need to get started on meeting once a month. So I do expect to hear that a meeting has occurred at our next meeting.
Melissa, I had a question. How many
Sure.
more members are you looking for the VAC since we're live? Are you needing a certain amount of more members, or?
To
For-
fill in positions?
Yes.
Well, pretty soon, Mr. Roddy's his term's going to end. Your term is coming to an end. I expect Mr. Jackson would be reappointed, so that would be so as far as I know, for sure, 2.
2 or 3, okay.
Yes. All right, item number 10, Division of Veteran and Military Affairs update.
So, thank you. And, first of all, I want to tell Ron Jackson and Rodney Washington, thank you also. And Bruce is not here, but, what you do for this community is invaluable. And I know it's not easy. It's not easy doing this. If you're doing it right, this job, what you're doing is you're taking a second job and you're volunteering to help out our veterans in this community. But I applaud you for doing that. And I would ask if you can do another term, to seriously think about it, because I think that, each of your voices adds an important element to this committee. So I'd ask you to continue to think about that. So just I'm going to put out a few things. I know Paul's going to come back over top because he's got all kinds of other things in his mind right now. But first of all, Paul and I are going to be, Mr. Albright and I are going to be going to the VA Veteran Source Community Network Conference next week from the 25th to the 27th, where we're going to be talking about what we're doing as far as enhancing the veteran space here in the city of El Paso. We were invited to go down there. Paul's actually going to be on a panel, and so he's going to be talking about what we're doing here. I briefed Humana on the 7th of July. Jonathan Bohannon was there with me, and we kind of briefed what was going on in the VAC and what we're doing here in the city, and then he was obviously talked about the Veterans One Stop. We're super happy to announce, and I've been saying this a lot, but I just want to make sure that there's gravity with this and that we're actually getting some traction. But we're going to have our veterans, their spouses and children are going to be able to ride free. That program should be coming out really, really soon. Definitely be implemented by August. And at that point in time, we'll have all the requirements for badging and all that other stuff, so that our veterans and their spouses and family members can ride for free. And then we're happy to announce that we're working really hard. We've been working pretty hard on this for a couple of months to get the city of El Paso into the DoD Skill Bridge program. So we're going to start off with the police force. We're about 95% complete on that before we can submit. Unfortunately, the DoD has put like a stop right now on any skill bridge until August. So we'll be able to start that application for a police department, and then we're going to follow on with other departments like the fire department, Sun Metro, so on and so forth. With that, that's all I have. I'll turn it over to Mr. Albright.
Yeah, so, since we're talking workforce, we're also finalizing an MOU with the Army's Partnership for Youth Success, Army's PACE program. And we're also working on the U.S. Army Reserve P3 program as well. So 2 more partnerships to make sure that we're not only just focused on Fort Bliss service members transitioning, but we're looking up and out to all services, because of all of El Paso's sons and daughters are looking to come home, and we need to provide opportunities for them when they return to El Paso. Moving on, I'll talk about the grant program. Grants have been submitted. We submitted a $28.6 million grant to the Defense Community Infrastructure Project. That project is going to be called it is called the El Paso Education and Training Complex. It will be located at the airport, and it's a training complex that will be geared towards workforce development, towards the additive manufacturing district that's being built at the airport right now. And then we also submitted a grant for the Defense Manufacturing Community Support Program, which will go to support the startup businesses that are at the Innovation Factory at the Additive Manufacturing District at the airport. So if you're not aware, yesterday they had the grand reopening for the Innovation Factory, and what that is that's they're going to be startups for small businesses that can help provide and fill that supply chain for the aerospace and defense design industry. The Texas Veterans Commission grant was approved. So Sun Metro is finalizing right now the program to provide all veterans, their dependents, and surviving spouses free transportation on the Sun Metro. So it'll be a 30-day pass. It'll be a veteran pass. They will submit it. They will get a pass, and they will ride that transportation absolutely for free. We expect that to be finalized in the next week or two. It's coming out very, very fast, and it'll be effective soon. I know you guys were interested in the new crossing system for the crosswalk that's going to be going towards Chapin High School. So the military has to dismantle that bridge that goes over Dyer Street, which is incredibly not ADA compliant, right? So it goes very up steep, and then it just comes down, and if you're in a wheelchair, you're going 1,000 miles an hour. So that has to go away, and we will put in that crosswalk system. It is fully funded by TxDOT, so no cost to the city. That's going to go in here really soon as well, and that way they can dismantle that bridge for safe crossing for those military children trying to get from military housing to Chapin High School. The Lower Beaumont parcel, that lease has been finalized and approved by the Department of the Army, so now the city will start leasing that Lower Beaumont parcel so we can move forward now. There's some finalization that's going on. The timeline looks a little bit long, but they're doing everything they can to condense that. We will be building a fire station out there. We will be building a bunch of recreational fields out there as well and parks, so the Lower Beaumont is moving forward as well now. And then lastly, Great American Defense Community. They came out again, did a lot of interviews with us. We are going to be on a panel in November to go ahead and highlight what we're doing here as a community. And that's in Orlando, Florida, so that'll be on the national stage as well. So we continue to tell our story. The one thing that I will tell you that we have came a long way in a very short time. So, and it is all due to the folks that are on this committee, folks that are presenting, all right, that are passionate about what they do, making sure that we synchronize resources, that we find those gaps in services, that we're addressing what needs to be addressed. And a lot of times we just need to look back to see where we were, to see where we are today. Pat yourself on the back. We are doing great things, but we still have work to do. So that's all I have for my update.
Any comments or questions? Can you explain the P3 program? What exactly is that?
Yeah, so that's a U.S. Army Reserve program. And what they do is they partner with organizations to help provide employment to Army Reserves as they're looking at going anywhere in the nation. So we will be known as City of El Paso when we finalize this partnership. They can, if there's somebody in Montana and they see that there's employment opportunities in El Paso, they partner through the U.S. Army Reserves in the city and they come on down to us. So that's what that program is.
Okay, thank you. Any other? Okay.
Paul, quick question about the passes with Sun Metro. You said that they'll have to fill out something to get the pass. Would they do it on the City of El Paso website? Is that where they'll?
Yeah, so that's what's being finalized right now, whether it's going to be in office, filling it out, whether it's going to be an online application. That information is going to come out. Bottom line is you got to prove you're a veteran or a dependent or a surviving spouse in order to get the pass, and then you're good to go.
Roger that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item number 11, announcements limited to veteran and military events pertinent to the El Paso region. Anybody have any?
Ms. Hartgrove, so I have quite a few, but in the interest of time, I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. because we're out of time right now. But I sent all the board members the email with all the pamphlets and a brief description of these veteran events that are happening out there. And I'd ask everybody to look at those and strongly ask you to participate and attend. And because you are the city of El Paso's VAC, you represent our veterans and the veterans in your district. Obviously, I don't have to tell you that, but just want to reiterate that. So first, on July 20th, we have the unaccompanied military honors and last roll call ceremony. That will be held at Fort Bliss National Cemetery at the West Shelter, 1300. Then we have the El Paso, Texas Women's Veterans Meeting for service women and women veterans only, but like get that out there for women veterans from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., and that's every third Saturday at American Legion Post 36. There's a VA hiring fair on August 5th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that's located at 5001 North Piedras. I think I just messed that word up, but the National Purple Heart Day ceremony is going to be on the 6th of August at 10 a.m. at Old Glory Memorial. And then we have the Army Community Service Fair, which is open to DoD ID card holders, that will be held on 24 August at 9 a.m. I know I'm going back and forth with dates, so I apologize. Then we have Veterans Resource Fair that's going to be held at the VFW Yucca Post 5535, and that will be from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we have the Home Run for the Homeless, which is a 5K, I think, and a 3K run that's going to be held at Southwest University Ballpark at 8 a.m. on Saturday, August 12th. We have the Veterans One-Stop webinar on mental health that will be on August 5th at 1 p.m. And there's a flyer. The flyer I sent out to you all has the link on it. So we also have the Disabled American Veterans Benefits Protection Team, which is the second quarterly legislation update for 2023, which they're going to be talking about, obviously, the legislative processes and priorities. Will be happening on 11 August at 12 to 2 p.m. at the American Legion Post 58 on 4724 Vulcan. And then last but not least, the Workforce Borderplex Job Fair, which I'm pretty sure Rodney's going to be a part of, right? And we should see some good videos coming out because Rodney always loves to do his videos, right? And then that's going to be May 2nd from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 8825 North Loop Street, Suite 122, yes. And with that, I think that's all.
What's that date again for that last one?
It's going to be May 2nd.
May?
May.
Is that right?
No. What day is that?
August?
All right.
Oh, August 2nd.
August.
Oh, got it. Okay.
For some reason I put May on there, so my problem.
No problem. I'll just making sure. All right, I have a couple. So we're looking for volunteers this Saturday from 7:30 a.m. to hopefully before this noon to help move furniture from 9565 Diana, the Veterans One Stop, to a location on the west side. And this, what we're doing is we're standing up a location for with furniture so that we can hand that out, give that to veterans in need, veterans in crisis, et cetera. And that's something that I really think we need here in our area. So if you can meet at 9565 Diana at 7:30, we greatly appreciate it. Monday, August 7th, there's a meeting with the Texas Broadband Development Office to discuss expanding barriers and solutions to digital access. That's at 333 North Oregon. I'm going to attend that one as well. I think that's very important, and especially in rural communities where we do have veterans who have barriers to digital access. Next we have, excuse me, I didn't mean to jump around. July 29th, Korean War 70th Armistice Day at 12:30 at EPCC Theater, 9570 Gateway. Then we have, we already did that one, 4, 5, I think. Oh, and Amistad has a canned food drive that's going on all the way till August 25th. You can drop off the canned food at 3210 Dyer. And that's all I have. Does anybody have any other announcements? No? Okay. Item number 12, discussion on proposed items for next, proposed agenda items for the next meeting. Does anybody have any proposals? I have 4. So again, Item 9 alpha, an update on VAC committee members' briefing. And then I'd like to add a discussion on, I believe Jonathan brought it up last month about how we can reach out to veterans who aren't using their VA benefits, or I don't remember if it was whether they're not enrolled.
They're not enrolled. 22,000 vets here.
Not enrolled.
So the significance about that is if they're not using the benefits to start.
Right, right. That's okay. I did hear you. So getting, maybe planning something or discussing how we can work that out. And then the next item I'd like to add is appointing members to the employment committee. Right now, we just have Rodney, and he's going to be leaving soon. So that means we won't have an active committee. So if anyone wants to add that, another committee on their plate, that's an item I'd like to discuss, discussion and action. And then finally, discussion and action to amend the resolution that establishes the VAC. I'd like to, we have to go through the resolution first before we change the bylaws, is from my understanding. That's what I was told, right? Okay, just making sure. So I'd like to add some additional criteria there for members who, for future members on the committee. And that's it.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and I think there's methods that we can do that doesn't require another change to the enabling resolution. So we'll talk a little bit about it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? No? All right, so our next VAC meeting is Thursday, August 17th at 10 a.m., hybrid. Please remember to let Mr. Jacobitz know at least a week ahead of time if you're going to be in person or online. And do we have a motion to adjourn? Sure, go ahead. That's okay. That's okay.
Mr. Kanoff, could you please? Yeah, thank you.
Sorry about that. Yes, I'm on the air. Because these meetings are quite intensive and there's a lot to go through, I don't know if I should make this a formal proposal or a suggestion to leadership, but I think that one presentation per meeting is probably the maximum that we ought to. We had 2 today.
No, I absolutely concur. Some presentations are quicker than others. Both of these were quite intensive. So we'll take that under advisement for the future, and we'll make sure that we're sticking to the 11:30 ending point. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay,